Alrighty, week number 4 of Die Party Demon Hunt.
Not
Oh,
Demon Hunt.
No.
there we go.
There.
Bring the stream down. We're done.
I thought we ended that. I thought we ended 3 days ago.
Well. So it's been 2 weeks since we last played. As you can see, we've got Jacob from our other games popping in, who's going to be playing a new character, Engolard, I believe his name is, but we haven't met him yet, so that's all a secret. That's all meta. But yeah, let me introduce everyone again. So first up, we have Luke coming back and playing Alistair, and we have Jacob, who's going to be playing Engolard, but we haven't met him yet, as I just said. And then we got myself. I'll be playing Walzer. And last but not least, we have Graham, who is going to be our DM, as always, and he's probably got more hidden traps for me to put my fucking fingers into and blow my hands off next time.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, do you want to, shall we get started straight away? I mean, like, I'm keen to get into this, Graham. Do you want to give us a quick refresher as to what
Yeah, I am
happened
going to
last
give a recap.
Yep.
So during the last station, started off, Old John, Alistair, and Walzer set off from the hamlet of Wyvern Falls to travel up the mountain to the titular falls and try and suss out what exactly is causing these small wyvern creatures to descend upon the town, stealing livestock, killing people, etc., including Alistair's late mother, was killed by such a creature. So the three of them went up the mountain. They encountered 4 goblins, one of which was a shaman, seemingly controlling a very large wyvern, and 2 more were in a cage. Walzer very expertly set the dry grasses because of all of the wind. Set the dry grasses on fire, basically heating up the stage, and killing 2 of them in a blaze of murderous flame. One of the goblins, as well as the shaman and the very large wyvern, were able to glide away to safety down the mountain. Unfortunately for them, and then they essentially continued up the mountain, leaving the 2 wyverns in the cage who were in the cage. They were very badly burned, though. They made their way, continued along, and found seemingly a valley, a kind of a natural valley that had been formed after a rock slide had caused a cave to be uncovered in the side of the mountain. The rock slide had in it a very large kind of pearl object that Walzer quickly smashed into 2 bits. And then a very large, full-sized, red-scaled wyvern basically stalked its way out of the cave, roared to assert its dominance over anything that might be nearby, and basically walked, sort of shredded down the mountain. If you recall, it looked very rough, like its wing had been torn nearly in half. It was very emaciatedly thin, had not eaten in some time, but it walked down the mountain, kicked open the cage that they had just passed, and ate the 2 small wyverns inside. At that point, Walzer, Alistair, and Old John made their way up to the cave. The cave itself was littered with bodies, or not bodies, but bones rather, skeletons that were robed, some of which were in red robes with the Minotaur symbol, some of which were in black robes with the heart symbol on them, like a regular human heart symbol. They also found a bizarre kind of hole, and in the hole in the cave, there were clockwork contraptions, gears, and basically machinery. And Walzer, unfortunately, was sussing around in there and managed to cause an explosion. And to Old John and Alistair's vision, Walzer was instantly vaporized. But that, unbeknownst to them, that wasn't the case. At which point the wyvern began to ascend back up to its lair, and Alistair and Old John kind of solved the puzzle, kind of put the key in the lock. The hole was the lock, the pedestal was the key. They put the orb that Walzer had smashed back on top. It sank down into the floor, caused a secret door in the wall of the cave to open, and a very dark set of stairs to be revealed. Alistair and Old John went inside, kind of shut the door again, At which point the wyvern made its way back up to its lair, promptly fell asleep, and then Walzer, having been magically shrunk, regained his normal stature. The fire from the explosion burned his britches and very badly. Basically, there's just flesh missing from your legs now, kind of oozing pus. It's very badly burned. He's gonna have some trouble moving around, and that's kind of where we've left the party.
All right.
Split up and dying. Yeah.
First question: does my legs smell awesome?
There's a good sear to it, I guess.
What was that?
Like smelling awesome. Good lord.
Burnt chicken.
Burnt chicken. Yeah. All right. So, where do you want to take off? Do you want to take off with me, or do you want to take off with Luke?
Well, let's talk about first. Alistair, if you recall, there's a plaque on the wall of this cave, and that you could see when the door was open, but now that the door's closed, it's pitch dark in here. You can't see a thing. But you recall that the silver plaque on the wall said number 496, and then underneath it said Alaxis, the Minotaur mage. Okay?
Yep.
Now it's very pitch dark on here. That you do remember there's a staircase leading downward. You haven't been there. It's still dark in here, etc. Walzer also recall that you've got a note, basically a scrawled scrap of paper with who knows what kind of secrets revealed on it. Walzer certainly doesn't know. But let's pick up with Alistair and Old John. And so the first thing that happens is Old John is gonna, you shut the door. You kind of hear the lumbering footsteps of the wyvern kind of shaking the foundations of the cave, and then maybe a light snoring from the other room. Old John will say, well, what do we do now? Sorry, I lost my cool back there.
No, that's all right, Old John. It doesn't make sense. Walls is there and gone. It's, I don't really know what I need to do. I think maybe we just need to stop and.
I hear it snoring. I think it might be came back and fallen asleep. The beast. We could sneak back out.
It'd be risky about what happened. All right, let's see if we can open the mechanism. Let's see if we can open this door. Hopefully it's quiet. Can we open it small, or is it automated?
Well, you're not sure. Do you want to put pressure on it, or do you want to try and feel around for a switch, or what?
Yeah, I'll try and feel around for the switch, because there was a switch that opened it as well, wasn't there?
No, the switch that opened it. Remember? No, it was the entire section of wall swung in, and then you.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Moved into it and then pushed it closed.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll examine the door, and it's like, I'll examine the portal to see if there's any contraptions.
Yeah, well, when you feel around the door for contraptions, you feel a kind of bas relief sculpture that was built into the side of the door. And I'm not sure you have any sort of skills that would help you divine what it was, so we'll leave that for now. But there's a big ring in the center, in the center of the door, like a ring that you would grasp.
Oh,
like
okay.
a door knocker or something like that?
Like a door
Yep.
knocker.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'll turn around to Old John and say, I found something. Might as well, see if this can open. Let's give it a pull. Gentle now. We don't want to wake it up.
Okay.
All right.
So, pulling the door by yourself, you feel like you're going to need another person to move this door, and so you kind of ask Old John maybe to grab hold too.
Yeah.
And he says, okay. And so I want you to make a strength check, and I'm going to have Old John make a strength check also.
Strength check.
So your strength is 8, right?
8.
So you need 8 or lower on 1d20 to succeed, right? All right. So basically, you both kind of give a tug on the door, and the door, you see a crack of light appear in the seam, and you see that the door does open this way. So when you pull it, it begins to move, but it scrapes against the ground a little bit just to open. You hear that the wyvern creature's breathing is halted for a second. While that happens, it's staggered.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll just kind of like hold up my hand and put it on Old John, just like it will stop it immediately.
Okay. Then
Then we'll just wait to see if the wyvern's going to react.
okay. Walzer, what
Mhm.
happens to you? You guys don't see him, by the way, yet.
So
Yeah.
okay, so explain to me whereabouts in the room I am. Am I like right behind the dragon in a corner, like or what?
You're near its head.
Okay,
So
it's like
it's fallen asleep, kind of coiled around. Its stinger and tail are kind of underneath it. It's got his wings kind of folded around him like a blanket, and you're off to kind of in one nook of the cave,
okay.
kind of near its head region.
All right. How
The
much?
door that they're in is dead center of the cave, and you're kind of off to the side.
Okay. How much time would you say that I would have alone in this room?
How would you know?
I mean, like, how much time has passed since I reappeared?
Moments, 30 seconds maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, since you came back to full size, yeah.
Okay. That's not enough time for what I wanted. Okay. Well, I guess I would simply. I would just look at the wyvern, and I want to try and like. I mean, at this point, I've seen a lot of wyverns, right?
We've seen a couple,
Six, seven, yeah. Seeing how they normally act, how they normally walk
As far as
around.
you know, if you recall, those ones were green,
Yeah.
and they were smaller.
So what I want to try and do is I want to try and sort of pick up on the mannerisms of the wyvern, if at all possible.
Okay.
Like I want to sort of just study it, I guess would be a better word.
Okay. Well, you see that right now it's fast asleep.
Yeah. Is it?
It's kind of snoring, kind of breathing out of its nostrils.
Mm-hmm.
You see that its wings are kind of the muscles in its wings are kind of flexing up and opening and close when it's breathing.
All right.
But it's kind of got its head out of the sunlight that's coming into the cave.
Okay. All right.
Would Walzer be hearing the scrape of the door opening,
Mm.
or did he appear after the door was opened?
I imagine he would be too preoccupied with his legs to hear the door squeak.
Yeah, he's got a lot on his mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speaking about my legs, am I able to stand up at all?
You are able to stand up, though. I'm going to have you make a Constitution check to avoid crying out in pain.
Right now? Okay.
Now, if you're going to stand up, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not going to stand. I'm just going to be where I am. I'm not trying to move or do anything differently right now. I'm just kind of like checking out this dragon. Oh, wyvern. Let's just stop calling it dragon.
The first time you try to stand up or kind of put pressure on your legs, I'm going to have you make a Constitution check to avoid crying out.
Mm.
Or at least whimpering. Very, very, very manly.
Okay, so I'm just. Do I have any? I guess I wouldn't. But I can tell how bad my legs are just by looking at them. Even an idiot can work that out, right? So, yeah. So I'm going to. I'm going to see how much pressure I can put on the outside of my skin. Like I'm going to like push my hand on it a little bit, see if it like flexes or whatever. But for the most part, I'm just going to stay where I am, and I'm going to study the wyvern as much as I can without moving, and I'm just going to be testing my legs to see what I can and cannot do. I mean, like, to give you an idea, I mean, in real life, I've done injuries to my legs before, and it's always like a case of, I know I should be able to do this sort of stuff, but I don't know if I can, sort of thing.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I kind of want to work out my limits, I guess, without putting too much stress on myself.
So to the touch, when you touch the burns on one of your legs,
Yeah.
the left leg is worse than the right one. So maybe on the left leg, when you put pressure, like just like white hot pain goes through your leg, you can feel the pain, you can feel the muscles in your leg, you can flex your calves and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it does feel like the muscles are still.
walk, but it's painful.
Okay, so it does feel like the muscles are still.
Yeah, I mean,
functioning.
Yeah, you're fine. You didn't cook or anything. Yeah.
All right, good, cool. What about like? I know this is a weird question, but like the ligaments in my joints and stuff like that, do they seem to be functioning still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I can move all my toes and stuff.
Yeah.
And what about on the bottom of my feet? Am I able to feel any sensation on those?
Yeah, the bottom of your feet were protected from the from the blast.
Okay.
Well, your shoes are still there. if that
Well, what I'm
helps.
trying to work out is if there's any nerve damage or anything like that in my legs that I should be aware
Not
of.
that, not that you can tell. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, it's only been 30 seconds, so I'm not going to be doing a whole lot. So they're my two major concerns right now: what's in front of me and what's happened to me. So.
Okay. Yeah. Alistair.
All right, I'm gonna. Can I see out the small crack of the door at all, or is it too small?
If you'd like to, you can see the wyvern sleeping. You can see the exit, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Might try and move the door a little bit, or open a little bit more.
Okay.
All
So
right.
you motion to old John to help you as well, or you think you can
Yeah.
do it? Remember, you're pulling it towards you.
Yeah. So I'll have to get out of the way of it and then get back to the ring.
Yep. So you do so, and
All right.
at that point you see, so the doors open a little bit more. The wyvern's breathing is kind of he stops for a little bit, like he lets out a puff of breath, kicks one of his feet, and then kind of moves his head to the other side so it's facing you.
Okay.
But is fast asleep. But you do see Walzer kind of pressing on his legs.
Alrighty. Geez, so I don't want to shout or anything. All right, I might use one of my cantrip abilities, distract.
Okay.
All right. I'll use that to get Walz's attention, and the way I'll do that is I'll use whispers. Let's see. I'll just take a look at the thing, see how it works exactly. All right. Yep. I'll let's see. Okay. Yep. I'll use some whispers. So I'll whisper his name and then activate the spell to kind of generate the whispers toward Walzer so that he'll look in the direction, wiggling my fingers just outside of the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the movie version, the name Walzer kind of goes, and it goes in a loop and then makes its way to his ears.
If this was a movie, it'd be
Yeah.
following like some kind of little dust trail or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
and in one ear and out the other, and he hears it, and he looks over to you see. So Walzer, you hear your name, and I presume you look around and you see kind of this little crack that's about yay wide at this point.
Yeah.
And you see kind of Alistair's face
and my hands
smiling out to you.
There.
Yeah.
So when I was small, I knew about them activating a door and opening it, right?
Sorry?
When I was small, I was able to see them do this stuff, or?
Yeah, you were completely aware of what was happening. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a surprise to me that I know he's there, but it's good to see that he recognizes me for the most part.
Yeah.
I just kind of sit there and I just sort of, and I sit back down and I sort of point to my legs, and then I make a, like a,
So
or like a
doing some
rotisserie,
primitive
like
hand
a,
sign.
I make like a rotisserie or something like, yeah.
I point to my nose, indicating that I can smell it and do a thumb up.
And I do a thumbs down.
All right, I'm gonna point at the wyvern and then kind of like do an open hand under like that to kind of indicate what's going on with the wyvern.
Do something about that.
Yeah. I want to go like I want to go like that.
Yeah.
And then I want to go like, and then I want to hold up the sheet of paper and wiggle it a little bit.
Okay. No.
All right.
Alistair, yeah.
I see a sheet of paper. I'm not really knowing what's the sheet of paper is.
Well, it's like half burnt sort of thing, so it's like a
so I can
triangle
see
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like waving a piece of paper. I don't have a clue really what that is. So I kind of point at Walzer again. And I make like the walking, and then kind of another
I
shrug.
I go like that, like as over dramatized as I can, sort of thing. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So so like that. So I assume you can't walk because not really too sure what to do.
I I hold up a rock, and I hold it up above my hand, and I'm like this.
I roll my eyes and I just kind of like hold up the hand in the way, and I go around. I'm like, looks like Waltz is okay. He's badly burned from the looks of things, and from what I could smell, something's cooking out there. Um, he's told me he can't walk, but he's bloody close to the wyvern. Um,
You're telling this to old John?
yeah, I'm telling this to old John.
Well, he says, well, just you've got a. Well, here, take this. He says, if I can squeeze out through that hole, and get my pitchfork into the beast's skull.
All right. Well, we need to get out there anyway, old John. If you feel it's prudent to be able to attack this thing while it's sleeping, yeah, well, might as well. I'll think on how we're gonna get Walter out of here.
We'll never take it down in a fair fight.
Yeah, that's true. Its size is just too big.
It's a beast. It's a monster. It's got to go. We can't save it.
It's the reason why we're here. All right. All right, we've got to open this. We've got to be able to get out of this door first. All right. So
just a little bit wider.
Yeah, we'll need to be able to scrape through. All right, let's get going then. So we'll go behind the door and try and open it enough so that we can go through.
Okay. Yeah. The wyvern creature kind of stops breathing for a little bit. Its face is towards you, and then it sneezes and then stays asleep.
Oh, okay, good.
Kind of spraying you with wyvern snot a little bit. You get a little splatter.
Oh well.
But you're big enough to get it squeezed out.
Okay. All right. So we'll both squeeze out and then we'll turn to old John and I'm just like, well, we'll take care of Walzer first. I'll say quietly to him. I'll look around the side and I'll kind of look into myself. I've got a couple of ideas going through my head, but yeah, first and foremost, I say to old John, we've got to get Walzer into a position where he's safe and he can help us take out this dragon. We'll need him.
Just out of curiosity there, Graham, what was the debuffs on my attacks with the legs the way they are right now?
So you're at 1/4 of movement, right?
Actually, I think I did write this down somewhere. Let me see what I've got. I've got -3 all attack rolls, 1/4 movement, right?
Yeah, that should be it.
Okay, cool. Okay.
At which point you guys hear something. You guys are out in the open now. Kind of moved your way out into the cave, but you hear something. It sounds like somebody walking up the rocks.
Oh, jeez. All right. I mentioned to old John. I just kind of like point to old John and was like, "You hear that?"
Are you saying this quietly, whispering?
Yeah. Yeah. Just kind of. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, whispering, kind of projecting the voice towards old John, and just like, "You hear that?" kind of thing.
Says no one else knew we were here.
Yeah. And it's just like, what's going on? All right. I'll go to old John and I'll just kind of point and it's just like, yeah, it's sneak towards Walter. I'm gonna go see what this is. So then I'll kind of skirt around the edge of the cave and go towards the entrance, see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. So you go around which side? You want to go around the side that Walzer's on, or around the other side?
Around the other side.
Okay. Now the other side's the one with all the skeletons and robes and whatnot.
That's where I want to go.
Right.
I'm
gonna have you make a dexterity check to make your way through with ease.
Alrighty, a dexterity check.
I sort of think to myself, oh man, if only Aura was here. This would be something that he could do flawlessly.
But alas.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately,
dexterity is 13.
Yep. So, Alistair, you make your way over to the kind of pile of corpses, or kind of pile of skeletons, I guess, with robes, and you're kind of picking your steps through them dexterously. But unfortunately, when you take a wrong step and your foot gets caught on one of the robes and you tumble into the massive skeletons that
Into
all
the
jumble
skeleton pile.
and clack and make actually quite a bit of noise.
I cringe.
God damn it.
At which point the wyvern monster kind of bars its teeth and moves its head kind of groggily up out of sleeping position, and it kind of opens its eyes, blinks its eyes again, and snarls at kind of nobody at this point. And it's at that point that we see another figure kind of blocking the entrance into the cave. It's a big entrance, but you see certainly that he casts a shadow over the entire place, and he's got kind of a crossbow, maybe not in hand, but Jacob, if you can tell us how Engelard is dressed and what he looks like what do they see when they see you?
All right. So for dress, well, I imagine his dress, it's not beat up or striped up or anything. I say it looks like he's definitely looked like he's more well off than maybe somebody you might be expecting to see in the middle of wyvern infested hell. So in terms of clothes, definitely looks like he's come from actually having at least some money.
Does he
But
have
also,
pants?
Yes, he has pants.
Are they nice pants?
Yes, they are nice
I
pants.
might actually have
Okay.
to take them off you after this.
Oh no! Do you want to crossbow bolt to the face?
Go on, sorry, I continue.
Oh, fuck! I lost my train of thought.
Oh no.
Like, well dressed enough, kind of travel stained cloak maybe,
Yeah.
and you see.
Kind of almost.
Go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna keep going.
Yeah, sure, go.
I was gonna say that Engelard, when you kind of make your way up this rocky pathway, you haven't met any resistance up the mountain at this point. You've been kind of shadowing Alistair and Old John and
Right.
Walter. Maybe you remained in Wyvern Falls. Maybe asked a couple of questions to the townsfolk. Maybe found out where they were going, and then you took off after them.
Right.
Took the better part of about 4 hours to make your way up this mountain, but you're pretty sure this is the way they went. You see that there's footprints and stuff. It rained recently, so footprints are pretty fresh. So you've made your way up this rocky encampment, embankment rather, and when you make your way up to the cave mouth, you see a badly burned man, fairly tall, I guess, normal, average height, and his legs are just like charred and just like raw and charred, burned. His legs are.
Smell like burnt
Yeah.
chicken.
He's got a very massive hammer that's next to him in the backpack, and he's got a scrap of paper in his hand. You also see a kind of a very old man, maybe about 60, 65. That's pretty old for this time, and he's got a pitchfork, and he's barring it now at this monstrous lizard-like draconic creature with a prehensile tail that comes up over his shoulder that's got a massive stinger on it like a sword. You also see it's got dripping fangs, but you do see it's injured. It's very thin. You can almost see its ribs, and it's got a torn wing that's almost torn through. But Old John is barring a pitchfork at this creature, and right when you make your way up to him, right when you make your way up to the cave, Old John will try and attack the beast in the head.
Can I
And he sees
actually
it as awake.
do something before Old John attacks?
Sure.
So the moment that the wyvern sort of woke up, I look down at the piece of paper again, and I want to God, this could go either way. It really could. I want to say, we're not here to